Well, God damn it. So I completely forgot to do this after part 12, so I did some research, and I found out, no, BJ, there was an actual contest for this video game, hence the contest winner. So yeah, apparently it was like what was it? Become an in-game character in the Deadpool video game and get a VIP trip to High Moon Studios. Get a chance to win an amazing experience that begins with you jumping into Deadpool's world by becoming an in-game character. The winner gets a VIP trip to High Moon Studios near San Diego, California to meet the game development team, and on the trip you will have facial image scans taken to put your likeliness in the game. Plus, you will get a special tour of the studio. So, yep. Definitely a reason for the contest winner. It should have been a no-brainer, but I was really skeptical about that. To be honest, part of me was thinking that was personally like a forced joke of some kind. But nope, it's legit. Anyway, what was I trying to say? Oh, right. So in the last part, we save the three spirits in these ruins because Mr. Sinister was harvesting a lot of corpses in order to extract their DNA in order to create more clones. And now, after helping our loved Death, we're back here on the surface on Genosha, and we're about to again continue our journey to get to Magneto's old citadel on the far east side of the island.
Also Wolverine.
That too, yes. Also, they should really put up some more support beams in this place. Nearly the entire floor down below just crumbled and fell apart. It just gave way.
I mean, it was a war zone. I can only imagine how unstable the entirety of this island is.
It's like it was a war zone. People were gonna die anyway. So who cares? God. One thing that
what are these more like clones or are these different creatures altogether?
I think yeah. They're another different variety of clones.
Okay.
I guess considering their long claws, I guess they kind of resemble Wolverine in a way, but it's like, not really.
I don't think they're claws like Wolverine. I think they're nails, like actual claws.
Well, yeah, claws, nails. I didn't say they were exactly like Wolverine's. I would say they're like close to it.
You know, that actually, come to think of it, the definition of a claw is, it's like a sharp protruding fingernail that comes out of certain animals, hands or paws. But Wolverines, by definition, are those really claws? Because they come out from his fists, not his fingers.
I guess that's how most people portray them to be.
They're probably
or whatnot.
there probably really isn't a term for that because that's not a real thing. So people just call them claws because that's probably the closest they're going to get to that.
Yeah. I mean, they're adamantium claws, so it's like adamantium. Thank you. Anyway, it's like, it's like they do come from like this metallic skeleton or whatever. So
well, depending on the canon, like the original canon had it so that the claws. Those were a result of his Weapon X program. Like for some reason. For whatever reason, when they infused the metal to his bones, it also added like these random 6 blades in between his forearms that he can at will protrude through his protrude through his arm out of his knuckles. But then later on, there are also other interpretations that talk about how Wolverines always had the bone claws, but they were actually just made of bone until he got the adamantium infusion, which turned him into adamantium. Like it depends on the interpretation. It's no different than like Spider-Man, where some interpretations of Spider-Man have him squirting webs out of this device, this web shooting device that he invented himself, or other interpretations where he can just do it naturally, like it comes out of his wrist.
Yeah.
Like, it really just depends on the interpretation. I'm not quite sure what they consider the most canon one. I guess really the one where he gained the claws from Weapon X probably is the canon one. Now that I think about it, because that was the interpretation that came through majority of the the shows and comics, and it's always a plot point how the claws aren't actually a mutant power. That was an add-on. His healing factor is his mutant power. Like, the claws were an add-on. But then, then they were later... I think the actual bone claw thing itself came from the movies, now that I think about it. Where the bone claws were a mutant power there. It's hard to say.
Yeah, actually, thinking about it now, I mean... let's see, how do I say this? I guess I'm kind of along the same lines, like, in regards to, like, which one is the most canon, or which interpretation is the most accurate. Like, especially when it comes to, like, the Batman series. Because it's like, I've been writing to, like, a lot of, like, clips from various movies, or, like, clips of the TV show, or whatever, and it's like, looking back at all of them, it's like, a lot of them don't really seem to, like, intertwine with each other. I mean, I was like, first we have the Killing Joke, and then the next thing you know, I hear about this Batman, Nightwing, and Harley Quinn movie. So, and I'm thinking, what?
Well, comics overall in general, like, different interpretations usually are just written as alternate universes. I mean, hell, the video game Injustice made that its whole plot point.
Yeah, that's pretty much that's kind of got the vibe that I got from a lot of games, movies, or TV shows that involved, like, comics, whether it be Marvel, but especially DC. I think of it as like some alternate reality kind of stuff. It's the same characters, but a lot of shit ends up being taken into a completely different direction.
Hell, I know that's like. I think the whole AU thing is like a whole plot point going on with Spider-Man right now. Like, how there's, like, literally all these different Spider-Man, like, coming out of the woodworks. Like, hell, that was Spider-Gwen's thing. Like, she's like Spider-Gwen is from an alternate universe, like, where Peter Parker died and Gwen got the powers.
Oh yeah.
I think the most interesting one that I remember was actually a universe where while Peter Parker was fighting Doc Ock, like, Peter Parker actually died, but something happened that caused Doc Ock's mind to be transferred to Peter's body.
I remembered hearing about that. Yeah, and, like, a lot of people I heard were really divided on that whole concept.
I think that was called Superior Spider-Man. I don't know. AUs are weird. I think AUs are really just an excuse that, like, different writers can write different versions of the stories.
Yeah. That sounds about right. I mean, it's like, if you were to actually end up watching, like, the Batman, Nightwing, and Harley Quinn movie I mentioned earlier, it's painfully obvious that it's like the writers for that only did it just for the sake of just having fun with it.
Right. I mean, that's like, hell, look at, like, the Undertale fandom. I mean, that's like, there are so many AUs that people have developed for it. I mean, it's like, some are more infamous than others, but I mean, it's like, I think just given with how that game is structured and everything, it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, you can actually kind of get away with making a bunch of AUs for it, but I mean, fans, there's, like, AUs for every little fucking thing when it comes to Undertale.
Well, I mean, right. Fan AUs are one thing, like, but actual AUs written by the paid writers is another. Like, I actually know, I know Pokemon's actually kind of starting to delve into AU kind of deals where it's kind of brought up in ORAS, where it brings up how the there's like two confirmed like realities. Like there's the reality of the original games, on the Game Boys and such, and then there's like this new reality that's starting to show up where Mega Evolution exists. And that's kind of like their explanation as to why certain things that are now in these new remakes are not in the originals, because they're like completely different universes. And I think the trading card game actually did kind of delve into that for a little bit, where some of the card art actually depicted like these rifts happening in time and showed like Pokemon like looking through them and such, indicating
this poor bastard.
Oh yeah.
That's
See,
Doomsday? That's Doomsday.
No, this whole thing that I've been doing in this entire section was another, like, this is, like, remember that achievement I told you guys about earlier in the playthrough where you have to walk away with, like, a 300 combo or more? This is the more common way to do it, and it takes a little bit of time and effort to do so. See, as you clearly saw, I had to take out all the surrounding guards stealthily without being noticed. That way I won't have, a shit ton of enemies off my back. No, never mind. I'm thinking of something else. But yeah, it's like, as long as you keep the Mook with the shield on and this big guy alive, if you get him into that little restroom, then considering how big this guy's model is, he can't move, and he's surrounded in that blue aura, so he's bulky as shit and has auto-regenerative powers at the same time, which means you could just lay waste onto the guy and really rack up the combo, which gives you a massive shit ton of Deadpool points.
Game exploits.
You gotta love them. But yeah, it's like, god damn, 536 hits.
Yeah, it's like, here I am. I'm just like, this poor bastard is just stuck in the wall.
He had it coming. All right, but oh jeez. Now, oh man, I don't know. This section here, I wasn't really that big of a fan of. I mean, by that I mean this particular section with these abandoned office spaces. I don't know why. It might be the kind of enemies I have to run into, but it's like this particular area in question, I don't know. It's like, this feels like the more bland area, like compared to the many other levels we've already run into.
I mean, yeah, it looks just about exactly like everything, like all the other areas we've been to already. Or at least it feels like it.
Yeah, it's not so much that it looks like it, so much as like, yeah, it probably does feel like it. I mean, it's just another wide open area with a couple of hiding spots and just waves of mooks.
Yeah, and the same colors.
The same pale color variant, yes. Although I think it's like with me per se, it's like, I mean, while the levels tend to have like similar layouts or whatever, it's like I still tend to get like different vibes from each level, depending on the environments or whatnot. So in this case, it's like, I don't know why, it's like, I think you may be onto something with that, Danny, considering how open space this particular level is. It's like, I don't know, it kind of gives you the wrong vibe, you know what I mean?
I think so.
Still have to wonder how Deadpool's outfit grows back along with the skin.
That's a good question. It's actually rather interesting too, because I believe, like, I don't know, I don't recall if it was like one of his intro animations, but I believe if you play as Deadpool in Marvel vs. Capcom 2, it does the exact same thing where he appears like he's like in underwear and you see like his like all messed up body or whatever, and then before he gets into the fight, he generates his suit. It's like, god damn it! It's like Jesus Christ! I have his sprite sheet or whatever. It's like, and yet it doesn't show exactly what. Oh. Here's another exploit.
He's like, all right, thank you.
Yeah, it's like that's another exploit to save you the trouble of taking care of another big guy. He's so heavy. It's like he tries to be like the others and jumps over the gap, but nope, he just gracefully falls. It's like, okay, sure. However, I will give credit to where credit is due. At least with this particular part of the level, you're basically like fighting over a bottomless pit. So if you unlock the combo where you can fling your enemies into the air, you could just simply fling them off the ledge, and there you go. Alright, buddy. Alright, let's see now.
So I'm looking at the list of playable characters in Marvel 2. It's Blackheart, Cable, Captain America, Colossus, Cyclops, Dr. D, Gambit, I miss Gambit, Hulk, Iceman, Iron Man, Juggernaut, Magneto, Marrow, Omega Red, Psylocke, Rogue, Sabretooth, Sentinel, Shimagora, Silver Surfer, Spider-Man, Spiral, Storm, Thanos. Thanos was there? Oh, never mind. Oh, Thanos wasn't the first Marvel. Was the Marvel superheroes? I think it was just a boss there. Regardless, Venom, War Machine, and Wolverine. Yeah, Deadpool didn't show up in Marvel vs. Capcom until 3.
So considering that Deadpool is not going to be in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, basically the third game was the only time Deadpool has ever made an appearance in that series.
Yep.
The fuck?
Unless they release him
why
later,
couldn't you just give the Work With Your Mouth some more love?
Unless they release him later as like some kind of DLC, but I also don't really see that happening too much, because they actually kind of made, I think, just based on what I've seen, they kind of had Gamora take his spot, because Gamora kind of has a similar playstyle as Deadpool, because she uses swords and guns as well.
I see.
Huh. This office space could be a great place to start a new game company.
Looks a little...
Which still kind of baffles me. Why would they choose Gamora over Star-Lord?
Keyboards.
The fuck? I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Gamora, but it just seemed kind of like a weird choice.
That's right.
Is there a Groot?
He's paired with Rocket Raccoon. Like, it's Rocket Raccoon and Groot together.
Oh, okay.
Like, you primarily play as Rocket, but Groot will show up as some of his attacks.
Big Groot,
Sweet.
Big Groot or Baby Groot?
Big Groot.
Well,
The big one.
Aw.
it's like I highly doubt a little Groot wouldn't be able to do much.
I don't know. Baby Groot is just still all kinds of adorable. And he did plant a bomb in the second movie.
Well, like, they kind of replaced, they kind of had Groot replace a couple of the attacks that Rocket did have in the original. Goodbye. Because, like, Rocket had a bunch of different kinds of traps. Like he would set traps as parts of his attacks. But they replaced a lot of those with just having him call out Groot and having Groot attack.
Okay.
And then I know, like, Rocket's new level 3 is just him calling in Groot and having Groot just beat the fuck out of whatever poor sucker he manages to snag with it.
Nice.
Alright, no worries, folks. We're almost done. I think we need to get through these this last room as we head up these stairs. And then, if memory serves, there'll be a throwback to another game.
Another game?
He's like, I wonder if this will become a trend.
You look familiar. Did I spin you like a beanie propeller and leave you in a motel room and puke? No?
Oh, Deadpool.
you so dead.
Except he's not. I mean, since hell canonically exists in Marvel, we all know Deadpool's going to hell, but he's also not, because he's not fucking dying anytime soon.
Nope.
Who are we kidding?
He's like, he kidding me? Like, the devil would probably be like, get him out of here. Like, it's like, God, take him.
I think the devil is actually is kind of a pushover in the Marvel Universe. I mean, Wolverine beat the fuck out of him.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Wolverine fucked up the devil.
Oh, shit.
So Deadpool can basically kick his ass and then take over, and it just be a big party.
Hell yeah.
There's a ton of bad guys in that room ahead of us.
Though I think Wolverine also made a deal with the devil as well, where if Wolverine were to ever die because his healing factor would fail, he made a deal with the devil to bring him back.
Is this the same devil that, the whole Spider-Man One More Day fiasco?
I don't know. I'm fairly certain, I think it's the same devil that created Ghost Rider, but I'm not quite sure. I don't know all the details.
Well,
So
that was a thing.
Yeah, it's like Matrix bullet time.
More so like one of those breaching sections in any Call of Duty game. Yeah, I can only imagine that's what they were trying to get at with that little section or whatnot. Alright, but...
Look, more schizophrenia.
Launch sequence initiated.
If this is a schizophrenia, how is he actually able to fly with it as you're transitioning to the next level?
It's fucking Deadpool. Who knows? That's what it's what I said at the very beginning of the Let's Play. It's called. You see, my life would be a whole lot easier if I could just remember words.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not saying I'm questioning the logic behind Deadpool of all characters. I'm just curious. It's like, if we were to put that whole thing aside, it kind of makes me wonder exactly how is he able to pull it off.
Oh wait, now I remember. It's like I said from the beginning. It's called Writers Taking Too Many Liberties with Deadpool.
because it's Deadpool. Anyway, join us next time, folks, as we finally begin the final level. We're finally gonna reach Magneto's old citadel to battle through even more of the exact same mooks, but pretty soon we'll finally be able to get at the real Mr. Sinister. We will see you guys then.